Hey, it's good to be back. It's been a while since I've made a Touhou Talk video, and I have 3 topics to talk about, lightning round. And I'll list them out right now. First of all, I'm gonna talk about challenge runs. What I love, what I hate about them, my favorite stages in Touhou, and my predictions for the next Touhou, whether it's gonna be a side game or a mainline game, Touhou 19.5 or 20. So about challenge runs, and as you can see, I have a challenge run playing, which is my no miss no bomb in the extra stage. And I like challenge runs. I have many challenge runs under my gauntlet, and that's because it's the most common challenge to do. Like, it's the most common thing to do in Touhou. It's the most encouraged thing. I'd say that ever since I started playing other shoot 'em ups and bullet hells other than Touhou, I've noticed that Touhou is the most game that is putting an emphasis on challenge runs, on no miss, no bombs, no focus, no vertical, you know, the niche stuff, maybe no fellatio, no anything. And you can see that even in LunarCast, one of these big replay databases, where you can set like other conditions, no vertical movement, no horizontal movement, and there's even pacifist too. But other than that, I think that challenge runs are really good for the player to, do and perform, and that's mainly because it's a good way to improve your skills in Touhou or any shmup at that. But the only thing that annoys me is that it's gonna get frustrating, it's gonna get tilting at times, especially when you keep failing your no bomb run or maybe no miss runs, which are really tough depending on game. It's like case by case. And that's why I kind of dislike challenge runs in a way. Like, after getting tons of challenge runs, successful challenge runs at that, I kind of dislike challenge runs. I'm just not a big fan of them, and I have a reason for that. And I think it all stems down to, players not like rating the difficulty or how good a game is through a challenge run. Say, like, you'd say that, oh, Touhou 15 is the hardest game. Remember that video? That's like one of my first Touhou Talk videos. Touhou 15 is the hardest game ever. No, it's not the hardest game because you're not using your bombs. Not because not using bombs. Of course, like, the challenge runners are gonna use, like, non-challenge runners are gonna use their bombs and use all of their arsenal to get the best possible results, and that's the main thing you want, like the main outcome you want the 1cc. But for challenge runners and super players that are much better than most casual players or like the normal level players, they tend to rate the games depending on the patterns or the on how the game calmly gives you extends. Like, for example, oh, Touhou 10 no bombs are really hard because it doesn't give you too much extends. Gives you only like, you got only like 9 hits and it's over, that's it. Or for example, Touhou 7 lunatic no bombs are easy because you got supernatural borders that you can manage them and refund some of them and blah blah blah. You get me? And well, that's not a problem. I think it's a big problem when you start hating a game because the challenge run you're performing in, like the challenge run you're performing in the game, makes you hate it. Let's say, for example, Touhou 6 LMB. Okay, not that I hate, like, no way do I hate Touhou 6 from an LMB, but for a moment there, my mental went boom, like, Oh man, just this is so frustrating. I wanna press X, I wanna play the game. I like Touhou 6, I like this and that. And there's even Touhou 17, which I already hate, but I did try to do a no hyper, no bomb. And no hyper, no bomb, that's dumb. Like, the game is so boring without it. Even with hypers, I'd say the game is lame, but you get the point. If you like Touhou 17, if that's your kind of tea, and you are restricted from using hypers, that would suck, right? It would. And you get the point. I think even you see that, like, if you like browse any of the servers, Touhou project, maybe you go to any server, like, you're gonna see a Touhou 6 hater, and sure, maybe you're gonna hate on Touhou 6 because this and that, but I think one of the more common things is, oh, I hate the randomness. I hate that there are so many random factors to the game. And I don't think that's I think that's a fine thing, but the way they criticize it is like, it's as if they play Lunatic No, or they're like a seasoned Lunatic No Bomb or Nomis No Bomb player. And it's kind of dumb. I think, like, you gotta give Touhou 6 a chance. Like, use your bombs, try scoring, try raising strats. It's really fun. I like scoring in Touhou 6, even though it's really hard. I think it's fun to do. And another thing is, in challenge runs, I think, okay, this might be a bit spicy, but once you see a Lunatic Nomis No Bomb for a specific shot of a specific game, you've seen them all. And while you could say that some players do different routes and such, sure, they do different routes for that specific section. That's it. Like, am I gonna just skip towards that section and watch how they do that specific route? I think that's stupid. Like, I'm gonna watch Yatsuzume's Lunatic Nomis No Bomb and on Touhou 11 reimuC. I'm gonna watch it. Sure, I'm entertained. That's cool. Congratulations. And then I watch another reimuC Nomis No Bomb from Jimmy, and it's the same. It's just the same. They're gonna just do different dodges on the random patterns. That's it. That's why I started leaning towards score runs. Score runs are much more interesting because the metric for showing a player's skill is a number and not an achievement. You look at these score runs, you see, oh yeah, you've seen SOC, he hit the first 700 million in Touhou 6. You've seen recently KG, he's hit 3 billion on normal with Sanae B in Touhou 12. That's amazing, that's an incredible feat. And I'm not downplaying Lunatic Nomis No Bombs. I think Lunatic Nomis No Bombs are very impressive. I think score runs are much more entertaining to watch, that's all I'm saying. I guess that's it for the challenge runs, and now I'm gonna talk about Touhou stages. Now, time to talk about my favorite stages in Touhou, and I have them all here ready, all the tabs, and here we go. First of all, I'd say Touhou 6. We start with Touhou 6, and Touhou 6 has one stage that stands out for me. Obviously, it's stage 4. Man, where do I start? Stage 4 is cool. I think it's cool. I enjoyed routing this back when I started the game, playing the game for the first time. And I got introduced to the thing called routing in shoot 'em ups. Especially with this one, back when I was playing normal. And in which you have to memorize the enemy placements and how they aim. Especially on Lunatic. on Lunatic, they're gonna see anti-aimed and aimed bullets, and one of the best things about the stage is this, the bullet cancels. I love bullet cancels. If you put bullet cancels in your shoot 'em up, it's like you instantly caught my attention. And onto this books, and I think that books is a necessary evil. I do not care if you hate books or think books is unfair. I think it's necessary evil. I think it's there. It's for the you know, the aliens to dodge, and if you can't dodge it, you got your X button. As you can see here, I'm an intelligent human being. I'm gonna bomb. Oh, that sounded dumb. Anyways, don't mean that you're just dumb or anything, but just bomb the books section. Other than that, let me skip a bit here. One of my favorite sections in the stage, because if you die in books, if you are out of bombs, if you're doing LMB, this will be lower rank, and it's gonna be slightly different. You know, the bullet speed. Look, I'm gonna start it from here, but usually, okay, let me show you. Usually, I don't really start it from here. I have a route for this, but it's really risky. I would start it from here, that section. But as you can see, I'm gonna manage to actually squeeze through and capture, like survive this pattern, this section. Of course, the lasers aren't as big as it shows. And also, of course, you got the bullet cancels again. Of course, like Zun knows this feels good to do. Canceling all of these bullets to get all of the star items. And you got this section where you gotta memorize, and you got more bullet canceling. And it ends with an interesting boss fight, Patchouli. And Patchouli changes spells depending on the shot type you're playing. More fun, more memorizing. Like every shot type has, you know, has a different fight, have different difficulty of like different boss difficulty is what I'm trying to say. Okay. On to the next game, Touhou 7, and god damn, I am grinding Touhou 7 all lunatic 1cc's with all shots, and I started noticing this stage. It's fantastic. It's awesome. I love this stage. And it's a very difficult stage. I like, yeah, I don't blame you. It's a very difficult stage. I'm gonna show you why. You start with the midboss, Alice. This is the first nun. And once you finish it, these enemies come in and holy shit. Does this look like a similar shoot 'em up or bullet hell? Does this look like a similar style of pattern, you know, stages? Snowballing, walls of bullets, no sound. No sound coming from bullets shooting. You hear that? There's no bullet sound. Yes, this is, I think, in my opinion, this is a subtle cave reference by Zun. Call me schizophrenic. This is just amazing. I love the stage, and it's not because it's a cave reference. It's just I love this. Like, it just shows how much inspired Touhou is, like, from cave. And afterwards, this is a fun spell card to do because the puppets drop items, and in the context of Touhou 7, I got you know, the cherry items. I'm gonna bomb here because Sake sucks. Yep, die here. Anyways, and I wait here a bit. I'm stalling so I can get all of these fairies. And you know, I always try to time my cherry border here. I can get all of these items, but I burst it really early. But yeah, snowballing again. Look at all of these bullets. You gotta kill the fairies real fast. If you're not killing them fast enough, you're gonna get overwhelmed. It's really cool. And Alice in general is a fun fight, even though she's really hard. It's a fun fight. And for this one, I'm gonna have to use my hard 1cc on solo reimuC, because I actually do some interesting maneuvers in stage 2 Touhou 8, which is my favorite. And I'm gonna put an emphasis on this. I'm gonna always mention it in the context of the, when the stage synergizes with the with the gimmick of the game or how the game works. It's always the best. Just me. If you like, please tell me if you're like, if you have like a favorite stage and it's because it helps you, like it teaches you how to do this and that gimmick, and this is no different. Look at this. And in this stage, this is the hardest last spell to get, because it's really hard to collect all the time items unless you know how to. And luckily enough, I know how to. You're gonna see here, in the context of Touhou 8, this is cool. I think this is a cool stage. It teaches you a lot. Teaches you how to interact with the familiars in Touhou 8. And I'd say stage 3 is a close second. I really like stage 3 because you got Kane and all of these fairies that have lots of familiars. Kane has like a big emphasis on how to interact, how to manipulate familiars, like by on-focusing or focusing, so you can change the way the pattern behaves. But I think this beats it by a margin, because this basically just teaches you how to do these, farm time items from these familiars. I think also there's Mystia. Mystia is a good boss. I think she's a very decent boss. And if you've seen Electric Underground, he mentions that I'm gonna show it later. I do this cheeky scoring trick. Let me show you. This really cheeky scoring trick where you cancel the pattern when there are tons of familiars on the screen. And like Electric Underground said, when you do the spells, her spells covers most of the screen and teaches you how to tunnel vision. And that's a good thing. While I'm still talking about stages, I had to mention that. I had to mention this, to be honest. On to Touhou 10. Obviously. So, stage 4, and not because of the music. I like the music a lot. We are talking about the stages here. And again, it's the same reason as Touhou 6 stage 4. Touhou 6 stage 4 teaches you routing. Same here. It teaches you routing, but this is much tougher. This is more unforgiving. If you die, you gotta start using your bombs here. And even if you're like spamming bombs, it's okay, because like you're gonna suddenly be like, oh wait, where are all of my bombs? There's not much power to get. Yeah, you are forced to route the stage. And you see here, you skip here, and Momiji has the dynamic mid-boss thingy, when the stage still is in movement while the mid-boss is playing. And you're gonna see me do a scoring strat here. Not really a scoring strat, just an amateur attempt at that. Just collecting green items here and there. Because I can just refund my power items here. And there's even more, streaming, killing the big fairies, and while dodging. And you got the crows opening up into you know, the boss teasing you who are you against. I wonder. Yeah, it's her. Anyways, Touhou 11. Touhou 11 is someone described Touhou 11 stages as bosses in themselves. Like each stage feels like a boss fight, and I sort of agree with that, especially with stage 3. But I really like this stage. This one is my favorite. And it's really fun to route. You got, you know, Oren, Meowingen, and you got these fairies, and you are kind of forced to, you know, stream slowly and are restricted a lot. Like you're restricted by the bullets from moving a lot, which is fine because this is Touhou 11. You got a grace to, you know, obtain your items. And this is, I think this is a fun mid-boss. Because each shot type fights this mid-boss differently. With the reimuC, you speed kill it, but I'd say look up how marisaC fights this boss, this mid-boss. It's really interesting. Same with marisaB. marisaB fights her really differently. And this is my favorite moment from this stage. Obviously, like you can't hate this stage section. It's fully static, and you got, you know, the fairies aiming at you, and you gotta use, you know, audio cues from the music or what have you. You know, maybe you have other indicators, but I use the music cue to dodge all of that. And I'd also suggest that, you know, the cool thing about Touhou 11 is that while every Touhou has that, mostly every Touhou, like where each shot type routes differently, I think Touhou 11 is the most, like has the most of that. Like each shot type just routes a lot more different, like drastically different from each shot type. I'd say watch a marisaB, Lunatic Gnome, Snow Bomb or something. It's interesting. It's really cool. And you got Satori. Satori is a top tier Touhou boss fight. I don't care what you say. She has 76 total spells because why not? 76 total spells, like all difficulties and all shot types. Because she copies your shot types. As you can see here, DB, double black death butterfly. One of the harder spell cards in the game. On to Touhou 12, and I'm gonna cheat here. I think all Touhou 12 stages are amazing. I'd say my least favorite is maybe to stage 1. Man, it's really hard. It's every stage is just amazing. It's just again, in the context of this game. It's in the context of this game. The way Zon designs these stages. It's fantastic. Hold on, let me just in case my voice is lower than the audio. In the context of Touhou 12, these stages are amazing. Amazing. I cannot stop glazing Touhou 12 about the, like, all of these well-placed UFO tokens, all of these fairies and the patterns trying to obstruct your way from getting all of these, you know, all of these UFO tokens and the cash-ins and the resources. It's fun, and I'm gonna show a specific section. I'd say this is I miss when in Touhou, if you die or bomb, you don't get the reward. This is last time I've seen that in Touhou 16, but in Touhou 16 it doesn't matter. You can stack up 1-ups as soon as stage 3. But yeah, this. If you survive this without bombing or dying, you get a 1-up, free 1-up. Cool. But you can use your UFO. I think I've used one at the start. No, I didn't. But you can use a UFO and it wouldn't penalize you for cancelling the bullets with the UFO explosion. fun stuff you can do in Touhou 12. Always, this game is always fun. Play. I've messed around hard 1cc's a lot. I think I've hard 1cc'd the game with 4 out of 6 shot types, I'd say. Yeah. And it's really fun to route the UFOs. It's fun to dodge the patterns here. And then you got this last section. I really like this last section. And it's like dodging, reading ahead, and at the same time trying to summon your UFOs and picking up your resources. I'm gonna see here, I'm overwhelmed and, you know, bomb. And this is like the section where you summon a lot of UFOs because, you know, I think stage 4 is like the best example of UFO Touhou 12 UFO. It shows the game the most. Shows you a lot of stuff. Same with stage 5. Like I said, I like all of the stages, all of them, even stage 6. Stage 6 is fantastic. Other than the music, I know the music is amazing. The presentation is amazing. I think the stage is fantastic. I think, like, look at the amount of fairies you get, like the amount of point items. Zun made this stage for you to cash in your score, your PIV. I'm not scoring here, but you get me, right? Just fantastic. I don't have any other words to say. Touhou 12 doesn't get enough praise. Please glaze Touhou 12. It's amazing. On to Touhou 13, and Touhou 13 was hard to choose. I'd say I know all of you Desire Drive fans. Burb, your favorite stage is stage 4, right? Wrong, I don't think so. This is my favorite stage. Stage 6 is my favorite stage because you got these spirit trains. Legend of Zelda spirit tracks. These spirit trains that follow the fairies give you tons of spirits and point items. And I'll skip over. And for survival, this is my lunatic 1cc. What I do here is get the tail of the, the far end of the trains, so I can get the resources. And I think for a stage 6, this is such an amazing stage, I'd say. This is, I think, my favorite stage in Touhou 13. Because there is a certain high risk, high reward to it when you kill the spirits at the back. My brother, I know he's been a big fan of Touhou 13. He's been a big fan of the scoring in that game, and he's been scoring normal. And I like the way he plays this game. Like, I've watched a tons, like 2-3 replays of him playing, and it's really interesting how he plays this section of the game for scoring. It's cool. It's very flexible. It's a good design, well-designed stage. Not much to say about Touhou 13. Sorry to TD fans. Gotta move on to Touhou 14 because Touhou 14. Oh boy. At first I was thinking maybe it's I think it's stage 4. That's my favorite. It was a tough choice between stage 3 and 4. More so, I think stage 3 is cool. I think stage 3 is really cool. And you can get a lot of bonus 2.0s in this stage. That's not up to 2.0, but yeah, you get me. And even though like stage 1 in this game is the tutorial of the game, and stage 2 amps it up, I think this is where the game starts testing your knowledge of Touhou 14. Like, oh, are you gonna get these bonus 2.0s? You can get them. You know how to delay the popcorns. You want to kill them slowly, the spirits and the fairies. Sure, go ahead, but there's gonna be tons of risk because they're gonna snowball. You're gonna be overwhelmed by the patterns. You have to think fast, and there's even the revenge bullets. Those are, of course, Kaguya, infamously known as the hardest stage 3 boss in all of Touhou, and couldn't agree more because of this pattern. Even though I'm playing it on hard, but bear with me. This is such a hard pattern to dodge, and I kinda cheese it with Sakia A because Sakia A does tons of damage to bosses. And also, like, oh, if you speed kill this spell card, you get more bonuses from these fairies. We skip over here. I die once, I think. No, I didn't die once. What? Oh, the death happens later. But yeah, there's even these fairies that are gonna shoot liners of bullets. Be like, oh, you want a POC, huh? You want a POC? Come and get me. And look, I die here. Come and get all of those items, dude. Oh no, you won't, because these lines of bullets are very scary and they threaten your lives that you've stacked up so far. And there are even these fairies that, you know, these big waves of bullets. And overall, the Kaguri fight, I think it's fun, despite Sakie kinda sucking at them because I think she moves a lot. You move, Kaguru, you move a lot. Please stop moving. So the explosion won't linger on her. It's gonna be hard for her, much harder to kill her. But kinda squeeze in and capture it, anyways. Anyways, go time for Touhou 15. And Touhou 15. Stage 1 is annoying, stage 2 is okay. Stage 3 is okay too, and then stage 4. I mean, stage 4 is boring, but stage 5. Stage 5, I meant stage 5. And I'm using my normal here because you're gonna know why, because I survive most of lunatic time here, and you're gonna see why. And I like this stage. I'm a big fan of this stage. This is like one of the redeeming factors of Touhou 15. You skip over here, and for some reason I bomb you. Old replay. Either way, this section with the, you know, fairies shooting these stars, you gotta stream them while these fairies come in and laser. And I had to bomb here, and oh wow, I'm out of bombs. Oh, what shall I do? Here comes this menace. This part. This and onwards just blew my mind. Skip over here, this is boring. And then this. Yes, I did say that I'm not counting in the music, but the music syncing in with the patterns, you know, like you can close your eyes. If you've seen that music top 10 Touhou music syncs video, watch it. It's really cool. And one of them was this stage, Lunatic Time. And he said you can close your eyes and still imagine the Danmaku with the music. He's right. He's correct. It's really cool, in my opinion. And this is such a cool stage, honestly. Like this section of the stage is really cool. Like these fairies just go batshit insane. Somehow survived this. I should have stayed in the middle. And you got these infamous green lasers. And yellow lasers too that were there previously present. And this. Zun, please, more of this. Be creative with your patterns. I love this. The clown piece circuit. Soon gonna be released as a DLC in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Such a cool pattern. If it wasn't static, okay, sure, it's cool, it's fine if it was static, but if it wasn't static and kinda slightly balanced, maybe it would be really cool. Like how you can drive through these star bullets. And you got the landmines, of course, into the clown piece fight. Yeah, apparently this is like my favorite stage in Touhou 15. On to Touhou 16. And instantly, you know me, the best stage, like the stage that puts the most emphasis um, on your you know, mechanic, the gimmick, the release gimmick is this stage. And it's really cool, I think. The way you can, like, each sub-season just routes stage 1 differently. The whole game is routed differently with each sub-season, but this is such a great introduction to the game. Like, this is the way you introduce this to any type of player is pretty cool. This is such a great stage for Touhou 16. Because afterwards, after the stage is the most boring Touhou 16 stage, which is stage 2. As you can see, routing your releases and amping up your score. And there's this section where you want to pick up your items, but you can't because you're streaming. But that last frame release cancel, that was really cool. But yeah, and of course Zon is like, okay, watch for this stage where you introduce the main gimmick of the game. What kind of patterns do you want the player to see? Oh, patterns that are very farmable. Despite it being lazy, I know it's very lazy for Zon to just use the same butterfly pattern. As you can see, like, you're gonna see it again, and that's like 3 patterns that have the butterfly pattern, and this one is just different. Although it's lazy, I think in this context of the stage, like, it's good because, you know, you're farming. But later on in the game, I think the patterns can be a bit lazy at times. Stage 4 in Touhou 18. So Touhou 18 is a bit of a tough one because it was between stage 5 and 4. And I can't let my music bias kick in because stage 5 is a banger. So stage 4 it is. I think stage 4 is amazing. I don't think I have much to say about stage 4. But same reason as, you know, stage 4 in Touhou 6 and 10. Is that it's really hard, like a big difficulty spike, and you have to route it. And skip a bit here. You got the crisscross patterns. And you got books number 2. I don't know if it's as hard as books, but it sure does look hard because I've never really tried it because I always vomp here. You don't really necessarily need to try it because, you know, Touhou 18 you got cards, but in this specific run I'm not really using active cards. And you got the midboss, which is interestingly a survival pattern. No boss whatsoever, just a giant yin yang. I wish Zon just used a different character here. Any character really, like a new character maybe. No, a nameless one at that. But I completely survive it and get a life piece out of it. And you got this section, streaming and some interference here. Die either way. And this is interesting, it's streaming, but you know, walls of bullets, you can get walled here easily. You don't know how to maneuver your way out of it. And of course, classic Touhou 18, last 3 fairies give resources. Also, I'm a big fan of the Misumaru boss fight. And that's it for stages. Now on to the next topic. So on to the last topic, predicting the next Touhou game. And my predictions is if it's a side game, Touhou 19.5 maybe, I'm thinking maybe Zon wants to make a Great Fairy Wars 2, and you're gonna ask, oh, how would he make Great Fairy Wars 2? Here's how he can make Great Fairy Wars 2. Okay, so first of all, it's gotta be called maybe Lunatic Fairy Carnival. Maybe Great Fairy Carnival, maybe a homage for the old, Great Fairy Wars title. And Carnival because you're gonna be playing as Clown Piece. And the main gimmick is you use Clown Piece, and she has the C button, and basically there's like this faded out reticle in front of you, and when you hold C, it moves vertically upwards relative to your position. And when you stop holding the C button, it's gonna target a few fairies and lunatic time them basically. And what I mean by that is you're gonna take control of them. The player won't control them, but they're gonna attack the other fairies. Sounds good, right? But that's not all. I think if there's no depth within that, I don't think it's gonna be as interesting. It's gonna be kinda lazy. I'd say it's gonna get stale really fast. If you add elements to the game, okay, let's say lightning, fire, ice, maybe other stuff maybe, and add like weaknesses, maybe Pokemon, like make it a Pokemon game, and different element attacks have different effects. Like yellow fairy is gonna have lightning, and the shot that the lightning fairy will shoot for you is gonna be a chain lightning. It's gonna chain like multiple fairies and damage them all. And maybe you got fire, which is damage over time. You got ice. Maybe you want to make a single target. Look at Hollow Song of Birds. Like for example, you got the ice gem. It's for single targets. For aqua gem is area of effect. Just a thought to put out there. And the way that the game would work is similar to Great Fairy Wars in terms of scoring, where okay, it wouldn't be similar in scoring, but like it's not gonna have a PIV. It's gonna have big point items and small point items, and you get these big point items if the controlled fairy kills the other fairy, the other fairies. So Zun would design stages in a way where, oh, you wanna take control of that fairy for survival because it does the most damage, or take the control of the fairy that is gonna give the most amount of score maybe. And also what was it? I thought of it and I forgot. Oh yeah. And for the first time in Touhou, separate enemies are gonna have health bars under them, especially the large ones. And the reason why is because after lunatic time finishes on the fairy will go berserk and attack Clown Piece. In such a way, you want to kill that fairy before it does anything crazy. Cool, right? I had this thought for a while, like, just, shower thoughts maybe. The playlist just opened. Landre, UN1 was her. Fuck. I forgot to loop this. Yeah, let's loop it. Oh. Okay. And it's gonna be really cool. Like, oh, you wanna, do this, lightning against water, super effective. water against fire, it's super effective. Water against whatever, it's super effective. Maybe not super, just like the the weaknesses and such, but also a way to like get the most amount of point items from multiple popcorn fairies. It's a cool idea. Just maybe I could elaborate more on it, like explain more on my thought process on it in a separate video, but yeah, just that's all there is to it. As for Touhou 20, here I have the pessimistic approach and the optimistic approach. My optimistic approach is that Zun is gonna sort of reset the like do a soft reset like Touhou 10 and make like return the separate shot types instead of having 2-in-1 shot types. I've discussed that before. I think the basic shot types are very basic and boring and safe. I'd rather have Zun like do crazy stuff, and I had this idea for Sanae to return the tracing shots from marisaC. So imagine this. So how Sanae has this motif, the snake motif, and what else has a snake motif? It's this tracing options. They're gonna follow her like it's a snake's tail, and in a way you want to make a tracing shot that is interesting for Sanae and complements her like main motif, the Kanako and such. Maybe make something separate for her, like unique, something new. Just I wish something new was made, and I'd say a cool Touhou game would be if the main focus was the rank system of the game, and there would be this really punishing rank system, and you would need to sometimes suicide, and like there would be some stuff that would increase the rank drastically and increase it in a minor way, like rank manipulation. And let me think. And I know like Touhou 6 is like the game with the most effective rank, but come on, please, Zun, like if you put like balance the game around rank, that would be cool. And maybe add individual shot types. That'd be actually nice for once. I don't know, just a good Touhou game would be where scoring would be interesting, stage designs, like I said, would complement the gimmick of the game, and even though there would be a bit of jank, I'd like Zun to take risks with the shot types, individual shot types, make new things, he's the creator of the game, for fuck's sakes. Like, just add, like, make reimuC do something new. Who cares? Other than, needles and amulets. Something new that Shrine Maidens can do. Same with marisaC, she's a magician. I'm sure she got more spells than her civs than just lasers and stars. Beyond, like, that's just my opinion. So now for the pessimistic approach. It's gonna be a Touhou game. Gimmick will be a gimmick. It's gonna be boring. It's gonna get stale real fast, like Touhou 17 and maybe 18. If you could, like, okay, not 18. 18 is still fun, but yeah. I'm sure like Zun will be like, oh, the casuals don't like the scoring, so let's remove scoring. That would be funny, right? Just like in Touhou 19, funny. Okay. And reimuC and marisaC are gonna stay the same. They're gonna be like, homing an amulet and needles reimuC with minor adjustments, and the same with marisaC. Let's make marisaC much weaker, and everyone we're gonna include flavor of the month, flavor of the year character, either Yomu, Sanae, or Sakuya, because there are no other characters than Yomu, Sanae, and Sakuya. Everyone's gonna have the same hurt box size. There won't be any new sprites, no character sprites, no bullet sprites, no new bullet sprites. And everyone's gonna have the same focus and unfocused speed, except for Marisa, because Marisa is crazy. She has the fastest unfocused speed. We're not gonna make everyone unique with the different speeds. And we're gonna use the same bombs. We're gonna reuse the same spell cards, just a bit different. We're just gonna tweak this and tweak that. It's a different spell now. Maybe he's gonna recycle a new gimmick, and like recycle an old gimmick, I mean. And it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be like an inferior version of said gimmick, just like in Touhou 17, which, you know, it's an inferior gimmick of Touhou 12, in my opinion. And maybe just it's gonna be all good old lazy Zun, not gonna do anything interesting. Gonna be the same things, just to reuse the same sprites from Touhou 9. I don't know. And he's gonna make some new characters, or, you know, maybe reuse, maybe Cerno is gonna be the mid-boss again, which is fine. I mean, I don't hate Cerno, but yeah, you know, the characters are gonna be forgotten about. They're not gonna be reused ever again, and there won't have any much character development in them, like the past characters in first gen and second gen Touhou. Yeah, that's my pessimistic approach with Touhou 20. Just wish, like, you know, people criticized Zon more in his game design, because people are just, you know, I don't see much criticism. I think he should be criticized more. That's just me. But I've seen a few of criticism, and like in my server, I that I lurk in, not lurk, like I'm active in the Mori Shrine server, and I've seen a few criticisms, which is nice. I'm happy with that. Let me pause the game. That's just my 2 cents on, you know, Touhou prediction, Touhou 20 prediction. Just hope like something new happens, something different, something unique, something interesting. There you got like the Zon could, you know, make the game faster, because ever since Touhou 15, I'd say, no, Touhou 16, maybe, I feel like the games have been much slower, becoming more slower, especially in the Touhou 17. Like, it's the most apparent in Touhou 17 and 18. They're very slow. I don't feel like they're fast-paced. And by that I mean the game's bullet speed and such. Like, nothing is happening fast. Like, the fairies are moving really slow, and when the bullets they shoot, they accelerate really slow. That's how I feel. If you just put Touhou 10 and Touhou 18 side by side and look at them, stage 4 specifically, like, you're gonna see that Touhou 18 is a much slower game than Touhou 10. Touhou 10 is such a fast game. Like, the bullets are really fast, even on, especially on Lunatic. And the game, like, the fairies come in really fast and overwhelm you, and etc. That's what I want from Zone, honestly. Like, that's the Touhou style that I want to see. For example, I have this game. Watch it. It's Jaimer's playing Wicked Souls of Forlorn Past. No, Forlorn Souls of Wicked Past. Okay, this is such an awesome fan game, and I can't wait to play it. To play the full version. Get the demo on Steam now. It's such an interesting game, like an interesting take on the UFO mechanic, and the graphics look really cool and flashy, and the game is really fast. The patterns are hard and fun to dodge, and the stages are so well designed. So I'm looking forward to it. Really, like I can't stress any further. I am looking forward to it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment. I like talking. I like interacting with the comment section. I like to hear other people's perspective, whether you're a super player or a beginner or what have you. I just like to hear your perspective on the game. Even if you are a Touhou Dojin fan or a Touhou research fan or the Touhou old hack fan or the Touhou lolly fans, I don't care. I want to hear your perspective. Like if you're a spectator, I want to hear what you want. I want to hear like what's the best thing you want to hear from, the best thing you want from Zun, the music, the gameplay, the characters. Anyways, see ya.